We are so excited to be launching our very first podcast of what we plan to be many more. I'm Allison Mack, and it's always a great day when I am joined by my better half, my partner in business, my partner in life, my husband, Wesley Mack.
That's right. And anyone that knows the Macks knows that you're certainly my better half.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think so too. We are, like I said, really excited to be launching the podcast and kind of diving into who we are, what we do, how we got to the place to actually launch Frontier Foundry. Got a lot of experience and knowledge that we're bringing to the table, but we wanted to be able to share that with everyone. And of course, what the vision is that you have for Frontier. So that being said, tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, I know we've been talking about this quite a bit. The vision for Frontier Foundry started off as a public accelerator and sort of morphed into more of a private venture studio. And I didn't really learn what that business was until I really got into the accelerator and really spent some time, energy, and effort on exactly what I wanted to do. And so really what this comes down to is Frontier Foundry is very busy spinning out new businesses that the Macks or Frontier Foundry will retain, ownership of.
And honestly, I feel like it took me a hot minute to wrap my head around what it meant to have a venture studio and all of the sub businesses of it.
Yeah, and it comes from our time of owning businesses, and obviously there was an aha moment at some point and said, well, this is what we're already doing today, so why don't we take this to the next level, and in an industry that we really want to be a part of. So I know we can get into this in a minute, but after a 13-year corporate career for me and then 5 years as an entrepreneur, I'm really, really, really excited about being in an industry that I want to be in. And so what we've created with Frontier Foundry and our private venture studio is our first spin out is a digital marketing company that we're calling Deer Camp Digital, so powered by Frontier. And this is dedicated to the hunting, fishing, and outdoor brands industry. And
we love being outside.
That's right. That's right. We've got the Macks, everybody that knows us, people that don't know us, we have a real passion for the outdoors. Yeah. It's a family event. It was a family event for me growing up.
And we've got 3 kids, so we're trying to impress upon them as well.
That's right. So, and they like to hunt and fish, and they like to ski, and they like to off-road, and they like to shoot crossbows and skeet, and they like to do all this stuff. Makes me a proud dad, and I know that you're right there with us. Want to go back in time real quick. We're shaped by our childhoods. I was shaped by my childhood. I spent from a very early age all the way to about 18 years old on a 3,000 acre ranch in Uvalde. I think the story goes my father and my mother were at the University of Texas going to college, and they answered a classified ad in the Austin American-Statesman about a hunting lease. This family, the Herndons, Lewis and Beth Herndon, everybody that knows Lewis knows them as Pooch. They were very instrumental in my childhood and my experiences on this ranch. And so I think it was about a 25 or 30 year run that my parents had on this place. My dad was kind of the ranch foreman. It really did get in my blood. And so I've wanted to be a part of hunting, ranching, and specifically Texas hunting and ranching since I could walk.
Yeah, and then of course, I come from a 4th generation rancher.
Yes, you do.
So it's ingrained in me. So you got very lucky on that front that you met someone and married someone who shares your passion for being outdoors, or at least accepts it.
So our first date, remember, I thought I hit the lottery. I knew I hit the lottery pretty quickly after you said that your dad was an exotic
breeder,
deer rancher. Yeah.
So he does. He raises exotic hoofstock in the Texas Hill Country, and for the past 6.5 years, I've actually had the opportunity to lead all of the digital branding for a high-profile association where we've
part of our aha moment. Go ahead, please.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think all of our experience. I mean, I've got 15 years in digital media. I have 6.5, almost 7, specifically in the outdoor space, and working with an association that's all about hunting, fishing. Well, mostly hunting, fishing, breeding, all of the things. And so just really helping change their landscape, grow their membership, really give them a digital footprint and putting them on the map. And so we can talk a little bit more about, our background and experience.
And kind of talking that through, it's a lot more than just the photos or the videos, right? It's what are you doing with that content next?
For sure.
And how are you getting the most ROI on a video spend or a photography spend, right? It's not, sometimes people and brands maybe think that it's really easy. Well, just put it on social media and we'll just blow up. And that rarely happens.
Yeah, and social media is fantastic. It's a great way to reach your audience and to be able to be relevant. But at the same time, you have to be focused on building that content. And when people who don't know who you are and who aren't following you, how are they finding out about your business and your brand? And from our experience, they're able to do that through building great search engine optimization by having content on their website, but not just any content. You've got to use the right keywords and the right tags and meta descriptions, and we can go down a rabbit hole.
We certainly can. So before we get into that, why don't we talk about your background a little bit and what you've done over the last, you said 15 years.
Yeah, so I first started out in digital media about 15 years ago. I worked for iHeartMedia. Then went on to work for an Austin-based media company as a media planner. And really that helped pave the way, unbeknownst to me, when I started my own business almost 13 years ago, to have all this knowledge, have all of this information on just really how to grow a brand and how to grow a business. So 13 years ago, I launched my own brand, which is nothing about outdoors. It's all about parenting and connecting parents to each other and to resources, but it's a great little business. Yep. And in 13 years, I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot about content. I've learned a lot about search engine optimization, which I already kind of touched on, how your social media presence, how it matters and how it all is interconnected. Sure. And then of course, I'm so lucky that I've got, your brain and all of the business and knowledge that you have in growing your own brands, that kind of pulls it together for this, our brand.
And one item that I don't want to skip over is you've been successful at growing many different brands in many different industries on social and digital.
Yes.
Basically.
I've worked with hundreds of brands across, like you said, multiple industries: healthcare, outdoor brands, car dealerships, pediatricians,
associations,
that are in the hunting and exotic hoof stock. So
ski, the Aspen skis.
We worked with Aspen Ski. I don't build me
That's
out.
right. It's a lot. You forget because you're so good at it and you do it all the time.
Yeah.
And you know how many of the skills that you offer are transferable.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. So
industry agnostic. So, that industry, this industry, you know exactly what they need on digital.
Yes.
That's a big part of the aha moment that I had and that you had when we created this company is that, my brain is kind of working on some of these things, but it's all digital, and your brain is working on some of these things are all digital. Let's put them together and let's create a powerful brand builder.
Well, and so many people go to start their business and they're really good at whatever their niche is.
Sure.
But they may not know how to get it on the digital map, how to get their website going. So we do website design, we get you,
indexed.
Yeah, well, I don't even know what that means.
Well, yeah.
You're so good at that. You're so good at all of that. But yeah, just really trying to make a splash for your brand in the market, and doing all of the things that it takes, which it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of nitty-gritty details.
That's right. So, 13 years, Austin Moms, multiple brands. I've witnessed it. I've seen you speak to countless brands on a daily basis. I mean, these add up over 13 years. So you've certainly qualified to lead digital marketing for hunting, fishing, and outdoor brands.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, and so, my background, maybe not as exciting, I'm not sure. But 13 years in corporate America in sales operations for large tech firms. And the latest was a third-party logistics provider firm, but all in sales and sales operations and lead generation. Mm-hmm. And so what I did with that, probably the first 5 or so years, I was very happy to have the career that I had. And the next 5 or 8 years, I was kind of thinking, hey, there's got to be something else out there for me. I finally got an opportunity starting a home services franchise in Austin, Texas, and took that with the help of mentors and investors, and expanded into multiple locations of this franchise. And what I found very quickly, even before I expanded, was that, wow, there is a lot of time that you can spend digitally, much less the physical side and the physical nature of that business, but there's so much energy, time, and money that you can spend digitally. And I came to you and I said, can you please help me?
Because when you're a business owner, you're only one person. Like, you can only do
that was it.
So much, and then you're just spread thin.
Yeah. So even though I was a part of a franchise, we still needed help. And so thank goodness you were in my household, and you were my champion, and you helped me. You helped us do some keyword research and produce some content, and produce some backlinks, and produce some citations. And these are all, kind of technical terms that then led for my home services franchises to actually be ranked, number 1 on Google, which was a big deal.
Without paid ads.
Organically.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so that's what I've done, and that's what we've done together. And so now we have Frontier Foundry. We are successfully spinning out a company called Deer Camp Digital, and it's all things digital marketing.
All right, so we talked a little bit about who our ideal customer is, but let's talk about the different packages that Frontier Foundry is offering those potential customers.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've said it a time or two today, but we're willing to customize a package for anyone. We really want you to start your long tail SEO strategy with us now. Time is of the essence when you're a digital brand. And so I'll kind of go through how we've broken these out. So just what we're calling Mark Your Territory SEO Basics, that's kind of a lower end in terms of the monthly retainer, but you're getting an insane amount of value that will live forever. And so
I think that's what people don't
realize,
is that content lives forever until you take it down. I've had clients before that have asked me to take down content because their business has changed. They no longer are in business, and they're still getting customers from that content.
Well, that's some good SEO right
there.
I know. Okay, so what this typically will entail is some upfront keyword research and ranking analysis, and then we'll be able to take that stuff back to you, to the brand, and say, hey, this is what we're seeing today. Now let's set some goals of what you would like to see improved. And then all of our content creation is going to be created with the EEAT, which means experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And with generative AI search here today, I know that's going to blow your mind. We really all have our hands full with how we're going to stand out in search engine land and social land here. Things are changing rapidly. And so you've got some keyword ranking, research and ranking, you've got some content creation, you have on-page SEO optimization, you have citation building, and then we get into Google My Business optimization, website SEO audit.
Honestly, I feel like all of this is it's the basis. Like, you have to have this.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to have social media too. You have to have all of it. But this is if you're just starting a brand, or even if you've had one for 10 years and you haven't done these
Yeah,
things.
it's called reoptimization, right?
These are the
catch me
building.
up.
Yeah, these are the building blocks.
That's right. So that is mark your territory SEO basics, whether you're brand new or you've been in business 10 years, you need this. The second package is that SEO, we call it Ready to Explode plus social. So we're going to do all the SEO stuff that we just talked about, plus we're going to do social media for you, somewhere around 20 posts, 20 reels a month. So that's, kind of averaging about four a week. For Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, X, you name it, we'll post on it. And but the most important thing there, as you know through your brands, the brands that you have built on social, is that just posting doesn't really do a whole lot. We're kind of talk that through. What are you looking for, when you're trying to stay on brand for a new brand?
Yeah, so I think that relevant content is probably the most important aspect. Knowing who your customer is and staying within that lane. That's going to be hands down, knowing your audience, knowing your customer, who you're trying to bring in. I think most brands know this and do a pretty good job. The other important factor with social media is ensuring that everything is optimized correctly for the platform that you're within. It doesn't have to always be perfect. It's not an always and never mentality, but there does have to be some consistency because each channel that you're posting on has different requirements, size dimensions, and you want to make sure that you optimize it for that. We already talked a little bit about trending audio and of course creating content within the platform. Again, it doesn't have to always or never. You can have a balance of it.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So we've got social media lead gen, follower growth campaigns. Sometimes these are strictly organic, and sometimes there's a little bit of a customer budget behind them, and then we like to do a little bit of both, right?
Yeah, you absolutely have to invest back into campaigns on social media. I've worked again with multiple brands, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just hit it out of the park and you're organically able to reach your target customer. But sometimes, and a lot of times, you have to invest in that. And I think the hardest part is growing that following and having that base and that clout in the industry that you're working in so that other people want to follow you. And yes, a lot of times you do have to have those like strategies, specifically for Facebook, to kind of bring in that customer base. And that's coming from experience of taking, again, an outdoor exotic hoofstock association, having worked with them for 6.5 years, starting for about 4,000 likes is what they had day one, and now they have 116,000. They had no Instagram, no YouTube, no LinkedIn, no content, and a website with some funny bluebonnets on it. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah, not a whole lot of optimization.
Yeah, not a whole lot of digital footprint. So we were able to help them, able to grow them. And of course it took time, right? Like I didn't do this year one. This has been happening consistently over time and energy and effort and pouring in that knowledge and those resources.
And the industry has never been stronger, and the awareness of this industry has never been stronger. And I think it's all tied to you met the incoming rancher where they were, and that was on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I love about these ranchers is that you stay on your ranch and do the things that you're good at.
Sure.
And allow the people who are great at the other part
to
do their job.
Absolutely. So what we have in that second package is Ready to Explode plus social. And one thing that we didn't touch on was email marketing, where again, it's a table stakes sort of digital marketing component. It needs to be a tool in your arsenal or you're missing out. So
yeah, I can personally attest to the fact that for one of my brands, our brands, because we're married, the way that email marketing has changed is drastic. And so where the website used to be the bread and butter, the end all be all, it's not necessarily that anymore. I mean, the website's still super critical and it's where people are finding, the business and finding out about the brand and the awareness. But the email marketing, if you have great content and good visual and consistency, people are going to open it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then our third package that we're going to talk through today is Ready to Explode SEO plus social plus podcast coordination.
Yes,
so
our
we're
favorite part.
We really are excited about this. This is, obviously what we're doing today. We have an incredible partner here in Central Texas that we work with to make this stuff, be professional and come to life. And
because we're good at certain things, but we're not pretending to be the video and audio people.
That's right. So again, when you're talking about digital marketing, you need to meet people where they're at. So we know that they're on Google, we know that they're in search engines, we know that they're on social, and we know that podcasts are kind of a big deal, right?
They're a super big deal.
Yeah, and whether you consume them at a desk with headphones, or you consume them, going to ranch in your Audible app or your Apple, your Apple app or whatever. Or Spotify, these podcasts, this medium is being played over and over and over again, and people are consuming them and they love it.
Yeah.
And we sort of have our niche, our stuff that we're really good at. That's not to say that we won't try new things, right? But we know what we're good at. These are things like Google My Business optimization, website SEO, off-page SEO, Google Search Console setup, Google Analytics setup. I know.
It makes my brain explode. Let's go ahead and talk about who would be a perfect customer or an ideal customer for Frontier Foundry, also known as DeerCam Digital.
DeerCam Digital, digital marketing powered by Frontier. I would say that we know our wheelhouse, our core expertise. They lie in SEO, social media, brand building, email marketing, lead generation, and video and video podcasting, which is what we're doing today. And then we really wanted to niche down in this first spin out. So we didn't really want to take over the world. We just wanted to say, hey, we really want to be involved in hunting, fishing, and outdoor brands. Now that is, for our viewers that maybe don't know this, that is $1 trillion a year domestics of just America industry. I think it's situated in between mining and even pharmaceuticals is right around there. So it's a very big industry. People want to be outdoors now, right? And people, the millennials and the kind of the next generation that are coming into the workforce and that have disposable income, I think they're trying to enjoy their weekends a little bit. And so let's get out, let's hike around, let's camp. Obviously seasonal, let's fish and let's turkey hunt and let's hunt on ranches and spend time outdoors, right? And reconnecting with nature. We know that you can spend a lot of time, energy, and money in the wrong areas. And so what we're really looking for are businesses within this industry that want to grow their brands. We have a repeatable recipe and blueprint for success.
And you've proven that just with the franchise, having launched here in the Austin market and then expanded both to Dallas and Denver. You've been able to, I see the numbers, you've been able to prove that if you do the same thing, what is your saying? Time plus what? Plus what?
Yeah, the compound growth effect. So time plus consistency, small smart choices plus time plus consistency equal radical results.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew we'd get that out.
Yeah, we got that.
We're smart.
Yep. but this type of work does take time. And we've got multiple levels for businesses that potentially are just starting out, or businesses that are kind of in the medium size or growth phase.
I tell clients all the time when I'm talking about search engine optimization specifically that anything that is published on the internet is going to take time. But at the same time, it's going to have the longest shelf life. It's going to continue to grow legs and work in your favor over time. And so I think that's what, Wesley, you're going back to, is that, you know, when you start working with any, you know, agency or, you know, marketing brand to help you grow, it does take
takes a little bit of time.
consistency.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and we were talking about this analogy the other day about how this is kind of investing in a home or investing in an asset that over time it certainly does pay you back, but you've got to give it time and you've got to be consistent, and that's what Deer Camp is all about, is consistently helping you build your brand digitally. That's, you know, essentially that's our tagline. We've got a couple of different unique packages that we can talk about, and that's you know, maybe a hunting ranch promotional video,
Which we've done countless. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And we like pairing that with some SEO, some video while on site at the hunting ranch, as well as a podcast before and after the hunting experience. And so you could get you and I around a campfire at someone's lodge that they're extremely proud of and they've invested an insane amount of money into. And we can help you make your brand look really good.
Yeah, and I think while the commercials and the videos are amazing, it's also, like you said at the beginning, what do you do with that content afterwards? Where are you putting it? Where is it going? Because you can slap anything on YouTube, you can put anything on social media, and yeah, you're going to grow your following, but also,
are those going to turn into customers? Or are they just going to be just a kind of a number in the social media world?
And I've personally witnessed clients of my own get hung up on the social media side, where thinking everything has to be this highly branded commercial. That doesn't necessarily always work. Sometimes it does, but I think you also have to fall back on that good quality content. What is making people and driving people back to your website to understand your brand? Because we're not trying to capture necessarily the people who already know who you are. We want to keep them engaged. We want to keep them, you know, a part of the brand, but we also want to capture all of those new people who maybe don't know who you are and are not familiar with your services.
That's right. That's right. So hunting ranch promotion, fishing lodge promotion. This is, you know, very similar to the hunting ranch in the sense that, you know, you've got this sort of 5-star fishing lodge, whether it be in Costa Rica or on the Texas coast or even, you know, Alaska. I've been to Ketchikan, Alaska, and, you know, typically it's a small business that's operating this, and a family. You know, you need to continuously build your brand, right? Or someone's gonna compete with you.
Yeah.
And so same sort of thing, that we like to pair that with good written content creation, a promotional on-site video, as well as a podcast on either side. That, you know, that sort of really helps your brand stand out in the digital world.
And this is also content that is not just AI generated. I mean, anyone can kind of go online now and type in, write me a blog about X, Y, Z. But there does need to be that human being touch to it in order to make sure that you've got the right keywords that you have. Also, I think people are able to kind of tell the difference now between that content that, say, I wrote, or the content that's automatically generated.
And so will artificial intelligence, you know, computer software be able to write you a blog in that tone? Maybe one day. As of today, we have been using all the AI content creation technologies that are out there today, and I can just assure you, I've tried it to do it without a human's eyeballs or brains. It still requires a human's eyeballs and a brain.
It spits out like a whole bunch of really fancy words that no one would ever string together.
Yeah, and you've got to constantly be training it to speak like maybe your customer base, right? And that takes an insane amount of time, where it's almost like, hey, if you can get me halfway there, content creation, then you're a tool and you're helping me, but now I need to go kind of polish it up and finish it, make sure it's ready.
And on the social media side, I feel like there's a lot of tips and tricks and trends. You know, again, I go back to the fancy videos are amazing and they are necessary. I think having these commercial-based videos to showcase your brand and your, you know, your business are wonderful. I also think that there's a lot of nuances that go into creating content within the app that you're on, and using trending audio, and there's just a lot of tips and tricks.
So all the things that we're talking about today with Deer Camp Digital is digital marketing for hunting, fishing, and outdoor brands. Digital marketing is social, it's Google, it's video, it's podcasting. It's essentially where any brand has to play today to win, right?
And I think that this is already, we've already been doing this. This isn't anything new. We're just taking all of our experience that we have and buttoning it up and putting a bow on it and calling it Frontier Foundry.
Calling it something official now.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Again, if you have relevant, good content, we know digital marketing is probably not the sexiest thing to talk about and hear about, but we feel like it's also a great opportunity for you to understand Frontier Foundry, who we are, what we're about, and how all of these intersect and intertwine and work together, because they do. And if you do it right and you do it well, it can be super powerful. In the future, we are excited to have on fun guests.
Right.
Have real people in the industry, ranchers, business leaders,
Outfitters,
thought provokers, all
That's
the
right.
things to have good conversation. So we're excited for the future of Frontier Foundry, and we just thank you for tuning in.